Let's finish OSFP routing at one of my clients. Hello and welcome to IT Bible. My name is Connor and today we are finishing our OSFP routing for one of my clients. So let's just hop right into it. We're going to go to building 1 and we're going to minimize this guy. We're going to start our building 1 router. And actually, we're going to start our building 1 PC. And 32771 is our port. So new connection 32771. So on our building 3A router, if we go to show OSPF neighbor, you can see the neighbor is 10.0.0.254. It's in a full state. So let's work on getting kind of the same thing set up on building 1 so that we can see what happens when we shut off different ports and to show you that both links are working correctly. Okay, it's finally booted, so let's go to admin. We're doing the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and enter through all the settings or the default questions. We're going to do configure. Actually, you know what I don't remember if we did on what I didn't do on switch 3A is I didn't save. So let's go ahead and save and Y enter. Now we're going to go to building 1A and we're going to change the name. So we're going to go configure. So building 1A, just for grins, I'm going to save now. And now I'm going to create the same VLANs. They don't have to be the same here, but since to be consistent across all 3 buildings, I want to keep them the same. So I'm going to create the VLANs and then add the ports. So, okay, and then we're going to add our ports again. So we're going to configure our access point ports first because they're trunk ports. They need access to all the different VLANs. So we're going to do configure VLAN 1 add ports 16, 17 tagged, and then we're going to add our access ports for, oh wait, this isn't done, so we're going to let that command finish, and then we're going to add our access ports for the different VLANs. And let's go ahead and save. The reason I save often is because if you don't and the switch reboots for some reason, you will be left back at the old at the config you started with. So let's go ahead and add VLAN 1 to OSPF. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to configure VLAN 1 IP address 10.0.0.10.24. IP address needs to be one word. Enable IP forwarding, VLAN 1. Configure OSPF router ID 10.0.0.10. So now if we hit show OSPF neighbor here, you can see 10.0.0.10. That's a full state again. And then show IP route. You can see well, we haven't done anything that's not a direct route yet, so let's go back and let's create our staff network on this switch. Okay, so now that we have the staff network, if we look at our routes again, scroll up, you should see the 10.10.0.1, 10.10.0. It's an OSFP route. I think it's got the O there, and it's going through 10.10.0.10. So let's finish setting up. We're going to go through and set up the voice and guest network, and then we'll come back. Okay, so now that we've saved, we can look at our routes on the first switch, or the first router, and you can see we have 10.10.0, 10.20.0, 10.99.0. So 10.10.0, 10.20.0, and then 10.99.0 did not show up. Why didn't it show up? Oh, because I typed a voice instead of guest. So now, if we look, we should have all of them. So 10.99.0, there it is. So now, if we do now if we go to our PC, so this is going to be 774. So new connection, 774. Test 123 is the password on this VM. Remember, this is a different VM than the other one, so we have to kind of make our display setting changes again. 16:9. Keep changes. Change our power settings so that it doesn't go off on us. Let's just check our internet settings. So I'm going to keep 4 off right now. 10.10.0.50. So looks like it's working to me. So if we go terminal, ping 10.0.0.254. I don't think I allowed pings. Let's do ping 8.8.8. Again, I didn't allow pings, so let's go do that real quick. Once Firefox opens, we'll get that changed. Okay, so instead of waiting for it on that one, we're just gonna go here. We're gonna refresh this page. Make sure our routes are showing right and our neighbors are showing right. Ten 10 0, 10 20 0, 10 99 0. Looks good to me. Let's go back over to our firewall rules. And we're just gonna allow ping, which I think that will do what we want. So let's go ahead. Maybe it won't do what we want. So if you run into an issue like this, let's go ahead and figure out what's causing it. So let's do, where are we getting stopped at? Okay, so we're getting stopped at the router, at the firewall. So clearly it's something to do with the firewall. I know what it is. So something we forgot to do at the beginning is go to our NAT rules, allow outbound NAT, change this to hybrid, and save. And then we need to allow network of staff. And then also guest. So now, once this starts working for us, you can see that we can now ping DNS or ping Google. But what happens if port 23 breaks? You know, these are fiber runs between buildings. So say someone's digging and they break one of the fibers. So let's try disable port 23. Well, it's still pinging. Okay, so let's re-enable port 23.
So now that I have your attention for a minute, why don't you go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and hit that little bell icon so you get notified next time I upload a video.
Let's configure the firewall over at building 1. I'm gonna keep this guy pinging, running meter. So building 2. So let's do building 2. Let's start this, and where this is going to be port 3770. So new connection 3770. Wait for this guy to boot. If we put these over by the buildings they relate to. Again, we're going to go admin, no password, and we're going to next through all of this. And we're going to configure SNMP sys name. So we renamed it. Now we're going to do the same thing one more time. This is a pretty repetitive task. So create VLAN staff tag 10. Okay, so we've got all our VLANs created. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with our access point ports. And now our access ports. Save so we're not too far behind. Okay, so now if we go and look at our OSPF neighbors here, 10.0.20, 10.0.10, and then this one I think is 10.0.30 if I remember right. So and then if we go over here to building 1, sorry, building 2, again, sorry, building 3, I don't know what's wrong with me. Services, OSPF, status, routes, actually, neighbors. So neighbors, 10, 20, 30, so those are our 3 switches, our 3 routers. And now we just need to configure the rest of the building to VLANs. So that's where we get, again, it's more repetitive. So if we do, so I'm just gonna fast forward through this part. So okay, so now if we have everything set up correctly, and we take this guy here, and keep him pinging, I'm gonna move this up here. So this is building 1, and we're gonna shut off ports 22 and 23. Ports 22 through 23 on building 3's router, which should shut off communication between building 1 and building 3 directly. And just as, so you can see, if I cancel this and restart it, oops, restart it, you can see that it's still going through correctly. But if I were to say shut off ports 20 and 21, ports 20 or 21, you can instantly see that we start losing packets. But if we enable 22 and 23 again, we should start seeing that number go back down. Well, okay, it'll freak out, but if you can see that it's working again if we restart it. So that's kind of the basic of what we're setting up here today. I plan on using this as an example and expanding on it in the future. So there's a possibility that this will become a template that you can download and install in your own Eve instance. But I was trying to export it earlier today and was having issues, so it could be that it could just be something. It could be that I have it on too low powered of a machine or something like that. But that's pretty much all there is to it.
I know that was a long video, but I think this concludes this little lesson on this client-specific network. So maybe the next upload we'll build another one. And why don't you check out one of these videos right in here somewhere. There they are. Have you clicked one yet?